What's up, guys? Happy holidays. So, super excited to announce that this is our last Discord stream of 2020. Super successful year. And today, so my name is Goro Fujita, and today I'm with...
Hey, I'm Daniel Martin Peixe. So excited to be here. And
what are we doing today?
This is something that we thought about, Goro and I. Like, would it be cool to have like a end of the year special, like really talk about our favorite VR pieces and really kind of like talk about what this year has been for virtual animation, especially. I mean, it's been really bad for other things, but for virtual animation, it's been really exciting, and we thought it would be great to just have this kind of a special program today. Special Saturday live stream.
Totally.
So,
but first, before we go through all the VR pieces and stuff, we wanted to call out special people from the community. And first, Faith and Tyler. Credit to you guys, because you guys actually set up the Discord channel. Super appreciated.
Awesome.
It has been a tremendous addition to the virtual animation Facebook group. So also the timing was just really, really cool because COVID came in, and you guys set up this Discord channel and it grew to something, something really nice. Super cool community, and I feel like it has a different flavor from the virtual animation Facebook group, and it's been just amazing to see how this community grew. And also, big shout out to the admins of the virtual animation group and the Discord server combined. And special thanks to Daniel Martin Peixe, our very own Daniel Martin Peixe, to come up with those amazing Discord live classes, right? That was like Daniel's idea. And that's been crazy because we didn't miss a single Saturday. Can you imagine? So how many hours? Yeah, how many hours, Daniel? I think it's 30 plus hours, right?
30 plus hours of content in the YouTube channel of virtual animation, guys. We have so many hours of tutorials, tips, just live stream, talking, Quill and chill. We have a lot of material to people, to get excited, to join, to watch the videos.
Totally.
And really get inspired to do some more VR animation. That was the goal, and I think I'm so excited that we got it going every week.
Yeah, totally. Like the perfect track record. And thanks, Nick Ladd, for setting up the YouTube channel. That was like really cool. And also Faith to come up with that idea yet again to do that YouTube channel. And Joe Daniels, Nick, thanks for helping me to moderate the virtual animation Facebook group. Because there's a lot of irrelevant posts and stuff like that we always have to filter out and stuff like that. So thank you for this. I really enjoy working with you guys. So what's next, Daniel?
What's next? Well, we're gonna feature some of the our favorite VR pieces.
Hold on, Daniel. Hold on.
What?
I think I have a little surprise for people. I have a little surprise. No. So wouldn't it be cool, guys, if we had our first virtual animation sizzle reel with all the amazing content that has been created this year? Well, you don't have to wait any longer. We have it ready for you.
Of course.
Roll it.
All right, let's do it.
What?
Woo!
We're ready.
So amazing. You can show this to anybody. You guys Nice.
Wow, that was amazing.
That was awesome.
Beautiful.
Isn't that awesome? So the crazy thing is, this wasn't actually everything. This is actually a fraction of what's been shared, right? So ideally, I wanted to, create a compilation of all of the amazing stuff, including the renders and stuff like that. But imagine what a nightmare that would be to go through Facebook to find all those videos. This is actually only the content that has been shared to VR. So there was like so much more, but this is pretty incredible. So congrats to everyone to put this together, like this many content, this much
Shout
content.
out
in
to
one
all
year.
the artists, everyone who's done VR pieces this year, those amazing stuff in the video. And shout out to Goro for making this video so quickly. The editing. He did the editing, he did everything.
Awesome.
It's amazing.
It's all VR. It's like mind blowing.
It's all VR, yeah. I mean, it was all in VR captures.
I know.
If you told them.
Yeah.
Like, it just makes me emotional.
All right, so without further ado, why don't we hop straight into VR? Speaking of
Put
VR.
your headset on, Goro.
All right, let me do that
Go to
real
work.
quick. Let me get ready here.
That was so fast.
Nice.
And let's go in here.
Oh, he's an expert.
Cool.
So why don't we start with some of our personal memories? So Daniel's personal memory and my personal memory, like highlights of this year. And Daniel, so we should start with the remedy.
Let's talk about, I wanted to talk about a little bit of the remedy, what this piece has meant for me. This is was released at the end of the last year. It's not really like a 2020 release, but it's been going through 2020. I got a lot of really good reviews, people telling me how much they love it, and I'm so excited that so many people have seen it. I have like 17,000 something visits. I don't remember how much. It's a lot of people, and I'm just really proud of it. And the biggest thing here for me was I got the opportunity to write and direct a short film, or kind of something similar to a short film, like a story. And that's something that's been a wish of mine since I started in animation in my career. I always wanted to write and direct my own story, and this gave me the opportunity to do it. So this is why it's so meaningful to me. And I really appreciate all the people kind of gave me some feedback, and I love that I got to test out all the new features, like the continue feature. This is the first long format Quill story that came out in the Quill theater. So
That's
I'm really
the thing.
proud about that.
It's the very first one, right? So, yeah.
Yeah.
I love what you did here, Danielle. You already played with the VR native format, right? Like where, you have this beautiful landscape here, but then the only moving thing is the coach. And then I follow it. And then once it goes towards the horizon, you reveal that title. That was like the moment where I got like goosebumps. I'm like, oh, this is so cool. And you did the same thing here where she appears. It's like very calculated, right? Because you knew that people would look at the title, and then the book comes in, and then you look over here, and you did a really good job here in guiding the viewer's eye, and it's really, really cool.
Yeah, that's the key. Like I learned a lot about guiding the audience and kind of anticipating where the audience was going to look, you know, and use that to my advantage as a director. And here I have these moments where there's a lot of detail, and I wanted to really put those details in the book, for example, to get people to get curious and spend some time and looking at the drawings and stuff. So yeah, it's really like I just love seeing all the feedback that I've been getting so far, and
I would be curious, Daniel. I would be curious. What is your favorite scene in The Remedy? Your personal favorite?
I enjoy working on this whole thing, but if I have to pick a scene that is like my favorite, I think it would be when she kind of is about to fall from that ledge, and she
let's jump to that scene.
Yeah, let's fast forward.
Yeah.
And she does like
this is actually my favorite scene, Daniel. Like this is like really epic where she jumps over the cliff, and I think the scene that you're talking about is shortly after this, but I really enjoy this one where you shake the entire scene, right, and you feel the quake. It didn't make me sick, actually. It's actually really good. So
and the viewpoint is not moving, is the whole set is moving.
The whole set, yeah. Okay, and this is the scene you're talking about, right?
And the Peixe glow is all over the shore, by the way. So yeah, this is the
arrow shot.
Peixe glow.
It's everywhere. It's in every scene has some of that. Even the smoke, that's Peixe glow, repeated over and over. Yeah, the shooting and when you ride the arrow, I thought it was like this is the peak. This is the intense moment. And I wanted to show that in the emotion. And here in the last shot here, I wanted to show the scar that mom gets on her face, and that's kind of a symbolic thing because that's kind of like almost like it goes with the thing that everything has a price, right? She took this path of adventure. She took this path of going to find the plant by herself, and encountering this man, and then. At the end of the day, that's the scar. That's the price that she had to pay, you know. And I felt that the burned face, the scar, was kind of like the symbol for the price that she had to pay to, you know, in order to
achieve her goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the
super awesome, Danielle, and congrats to an amazing piece. Like this is the first piece you wrote history with that for, you know, VR animation. This is really cool. And yeah, like congrats on finishing such an amazing piece of work.
Thank you, man. So let's have a look at to our mothers. Your short film.
So
which it wasn't meant to be a short film, right?
It wasn't meant to be a short film, and I'm gonna maybe I can keep the sound on. Is it still good enough for you guys with the sound? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Fine. Perfect. So this was interesting because this was actually an experiment. I initially did this for the Quill Weekly Challenge for Mother's Day, and then I just wanted to experiment with scene transitions, and I saw how Dan Franke in Multiverse Bakery did those wipe cuts, and I'm like, hey, how can I use those wipe cuts to tell my own story? And I wanted to do like a side-scrolling VR experience where whenever something obscures the view, I'm just swap the scene behind it, and then all of a sudden you're in this new scene. And I kept going and going, and over a weekend, all of a sudden I had a 2-minute short film done. And that was like another mind-blowing moment for me, very memorable, where I was like, wow, this is really game-changing. You know, how could that be that I can do a 2-minute short film and the story I wanted to tell this quickly? This is one of my favorite scenes here, actually. I animated this, and I know that the cars are not going to run over the chickens, but I always get a little bit nervous.
Because you animated it, you know it's not going to hit this.
Yeah, but still, you know.
Yeah. The thing I love about this, Goro, and this is one of your my favorite pieces of yours. What I love about this is you take the audiences on a journey with this family of little ducks and the mom duck, and I love that you're taking us into these different environments with the trick with the wiping, and it's really cool because you end up really caring for this character. You really want to you don't want anything to happen to them. That's why the scene on the road is so unnerving, because you're like, no, please, be careful. You create an empathy with these characters. It's so well done, and it's really cute the way you animated these little the little duckies
Cool.
following the mom. I really like it. This is so.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Really nice.
There you
Thank
go.
you.
So cute.
Next up, Danielle.
We're gonna look at Munch now as well. It's one of our favorite VR pieces as well. And the reason I love this one so much is it's just done by one artist. Everything, like even the music, the writing of the music, because we normally use this kind of, okay, I'm gonna put some copyrighted song or something as for the background, or I go into the Facebook sound library and just download something and put it in my piece. But in this case here, she did everything. She made the music, she wrote the song.
I think her name is Anik Piana, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, just big congrats to Anik, because it's just such a great piece, like all together. The design, the animation, the modeling of the characters, and the story is just so much fun. Like just suddenly you see this cute character that eats you and you see in first person, you're getting inside of this character. Like, oh my god, I'm being devoured by this cute little ball. And the song goes on, and I love.
Yeah, let's appreciate the song for a little bit, right?
Yeah, let's play the song a little bit. Yeah.
We find there who knows. You can bet that we'll light up the way. Yeah, in this stomach, we don't want to stay. No. So here we go.
She also did the amazing spatial audio and stuff like that, and we're going through the digestive system of this little creature. And the amazing thing, though, is that this was her first Quill project. Can you imagine? You jump into Quill and you make you compose music, you do spatial audio design, you do character design, animation, and a full-on short film. So this was very, very impressive to us. And now we're in the large intestine, I believe. So there's the opening. Oh no!
Yeah. Slowly being digested.
Let me turn up the music again.
Oh no! Oh no!
I'm really glad you guys showed this, because this is my first time actually seeing it. It's really cool.
It's much better in VR, I can tell you.
Yeah, it's much better in VR, And then there's this little creature that reveals
you never
the
feel
credits, she did everything right. It's pretty amazing. So congrats, Anik, to an amazing piece. It's really incredible.
Super cool.
Next thing I want to point out is Malia gets tubed by Lucas Marker. Badass piece. And I think in my last VR storytelling stream, I already featured his wave, but then he took it to the absolute next level and created this beautiful scene where you can basically see his character Malia ride through the wave. And what's crazy about this scene is when I rewind, there's a view where you can see her from the front, but you can actually be in the point of view of her. And the crazy part of this is I could never relate to what a tube ride feels like. And surfers say that's the ultimate feeling. And actually, I get a hint of how it would feel like here, because it's completely dimensional. And when I'm inside the wave, it truly feels magical. And I was wow, I could see how this is going to be addicting. I'm not going to be that crazy to ever try this, because I'm scared of the ocean. But, this is a safe way to experience it with the art direction of Lucas. It's even more beautiful, I guess, and it's really, really cool. So if you haven't seen this, check this out. This is definitely a must-see, and beautiful animation as well. Right? And I like the spawn areas he chose, and it's really, really fun to watch. So congrats on this piece.
Lucas, he's been doing a lot of really cool animated pieces. but we just have to choose one. But this one is just really, really cool.
Yeah.
And the feeling of the wave moving around is really cool. So let's look at the. This one is also one of my favorite short, like we're calling it short format because, but this one is pretty. You can stay here for a long time because it's so cool. This atmosphere that Kurt created here. I think it's inspired by original art. It says on the description.
Yeah,
I forgot
Andrea Garcia.
Yeah. But the work that Kurt did here, translating the drawing into VR, it's just amazing. Really, the quality, how clean the shapes are. I love the attitude of the character there and the animation.
And it has actually 2 scenes, right? So you watch the still frame here, and then you hit continue, and then it seamlessly transitions into. And
then you go into riding the car, and you can even be inside of the car. I believe, and it's just so cool with the music and everything. Yeah, I remember spending a lot of time here. Like, I just love this ride. I love being in here in the desert and this hovering Cadillac or something. Yeah, I just love the colors too, the palette, and it's just.
Yeah, I think the really sound design here is also amazing. The sound design was done by Green Robbins, but check this out. Let me show you guys the sound really quick. I just love the sound design in this one. It's really cool. So good job, Kurt. This is an amazing piece.
There's like a stroke outside of the shadow.
Yeah.
All right, next thing.
Amazing stuff.
Our very own Federico Moreno Bresa. He did this amazing working from home piece. And this was for the Quill Weekly Challenge.
Yeah, the challenge in 1 week, everybody did the working from home feature. Actually, this was the first weekly challenge, right? Working from home.
The very first one, yeah.
Yeah, the thing was chosen because of the beginning of the pandemic was happening, and then this is a really fun piece that Federico did here because you're seeing this house. It's kind of similar to the storytelling by Nick Ladd and Four Stories. You see different stories happening at the same time, and depending on where you look and what floor of the house you're looking at, you can experience this.
The mom is certainly badass. Look at her.
It's like the Ghostbusters mom with the backpack hovering, vacuuming all the dirt with the baby on the back. It's amazing. I love the idea and how well executed it is. It's just
super cool.
It's just
Federico.
really charming.
Yeah, amazing work. Next up, Ruxandra.
This is I love Ruxandra's work and everything that she's been publishing, but this one is especially impressive. The amount of detail, the quality of the modeling, beautiful with the music, the atmosphere that it creates here in VR. It's just so well done. I really, really love this piece.
Yeah, this is incredible. Like, I don't even get how you did this, Ruxandra. There's like a lot of like very smooth gradients. Like, it's so clean. it's amazing.
Yeah,
so, I
really
love this
clean.
too. The only thing I would want here is just to walk through this whole thing. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I don't have enough space in my studio.
I know. You kind of want to go there. You want to climb those stairs.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, beautiful work, Ruxandra. Somebody wanted to comment? No?
Oh, I said make it a hub world.
Oh, yeah.
That could be a hub world.
I wish it could be like your Oculus Home environment would be so right.
That would be nice. That would be nice for sure.
That would be amazing.
Next up, the one and only Stefano Bagnoli.
Yeah.
So this is Waiting at the Laundromat. I'm gonna turn up the sound here a little bit too because it's really cool. Just enjoy this for a bit.
The positional sound is amazing here too. I don't know how he got all these sound effects and everything. It just feels very atmospheric. You really feel like you're there.
So the
in
sound
that
design
laundromat.
was by Lucy Childs.
Awesome.
Yeah, let me tone down the sound again. But Stefano, this is also one of my favorite pieces of yours. You have a lot of cool stuff, but this really captures the atmosphere so perfectly, and it makes me feel like I'm there. But you also always tell a story with your pieces, so this is really, really cool, and definitely one of the memorable pieces of 2020.
Yeah, and Stefano, he has been publishing a lot of stuff in Quill Theater. It's one of the
heavy hitters.
One of the heavy hitters, the most contributing artist.
Yeah.
One of the most.
Totally, like you did the Inktober all in VR. You know, very
yeah.
Props to that for sure.
Amazing.
Yeah. Okay, next up, John Paul Brower.
Yeah, John Paul's work is really amazing for me because the animation, you can tell he knows traditional animation. You can tell he's a really experienced animator, and I just love how he applies all the cartoony stuff and all the really fun animation stuff into VR with Quill in this case. And also, it's not just the animation, the modeling, the design, it's just really well executed. Everything is just so fun to watch.
I think what I want to call out on this one is also the way how he used the cut, right? It's really smart.
Yeah.
Like you don't even notice it. Like you get it, but you don't notice when it happens and how he does it. You know, like it happens too fast, and then it's really cool. Cool storytelling here with VR native editing. Like this is really, really cool. It works so well.
It was very smart to cut in that precise moment.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
And I like how the chicken gets teeth. You know, the second time now it's growing teeth there. It's so funny.
No, yeah, that's like it's like an Armand animation,
Totally.
Stop motion. You swap the mouth with another mouth, and it just works perfectly. You know, it's a lot of fun to watch, and he's an awesome animator. I really like his stuff.
Yeah, congrats on this, John Paul Brower. Next, we have Alistar Kobesi. I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right, but it's called Forest Explorer.
Oh, this is one of my favorites too. It's so
And maybe
charming.
I turn on the sound a little bit for this one. There's some spawn areas here. Whoa.
The animation here is just so polished and so full of fun stuff, and it's really charming character design, and everything that happens is just gives you happiness. I don't know how to describe it. It's just really fun to watch. I really love this piece.
I think this was also one of the longest frame by frame animations shared to VR back then, right? Now we have, of course, a lot more, but it was one of the early pieces, and it's really, really cool to see.
Yeah.
Sound design was yet again done by Lucy Childs. It's really, really cool. And I think some of the cat sounds are actually Alistar's cats herself. You know, like her own cats. Cat. Yeah. It's really cool.
It's not somebody making a cat noise with a mouth, right?
I think it's both. But
I would have done that.
Yeah. It's really, really charming. Yeah, I love this piece too. So congrats, Alistar. Next up.
The Ancient One.
The Ancient Baran.
By Baran. He is amazing. He all his pieces are really cool because they have this kind of scary, kind of sinister atmosphere, and there's always this kind of candlelight going on in the lighting in all his pieces, and it's really cool. It gives you this kind of feeling of unease. You like in some sort of dangerous area.
And it's
and
very
these kind of monsters
immersive.
creeping around.
Right? It's very immersive,
Really
because
immersive.
of the lighting, and I like the angles that he chooses behind the trees and stuff like that. Yeah. This one is one of the early pieces from Baran. Super strong piece. Still one of my favorites. And then there's like this volcano in the back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Amazing
Thank you.
work, Baran. Yeah, amazing work.
Thank you very much. I'm honored.
All right.
Thank you, Baran.
Next up, the one and only Matt Schiffer.
Schaffler.
So look at that. I mean, come on.
I mean, this guy, he's an architect, right? He knows architecture.
Absolutely.
He knows how to design buildings. It's so good. It's like, it's really comfortable when you're inside of that building. You're like, oh, I could live here. I love this place. It's so good.
Yeah, and I believe I bet you can also build this for real, because
Oh yeah.
he has it all figured out, like this is really cool. And the sound design in this one is also really, really cool. So it's sound design by Scott Dugdale.
Yeah, the audacity of using only 2 colors to me is like, I take my hat off. It's just like, how do you come up with this idea? Like, there's only 2 colors in the scene, and I'm gonna use all the range from those colors and really simplify the palette, and it works so well. It gives you this kind of simplicity to it on the color design, but it just works really nice. It feels like this kind of sunset, but it's not really a sunset. It's kind of like an out of this world kind of feel.
Yeah,
I
love
that.
My favorite here are actually the crabs. Look at the crab.
The crab is
cute.
amazing.
So good, Matt. Yeah, always a pleasure to see. Look at your pieces. Amazing. Next up, Edward Madojemu. Thanks for running the stream last week. That was an amazing class. And here's one of his pieces. Yeah, absolutely. Look at that.
Look at that stuff. It looks like a moving painting.
Yeah.
It's just incredible how well painted this is, and how it feels in VR. It feels really three-dimensional. Like, it's super faithful to the original painting.
Yeah, so this is the original, and this is the moving one. And I love how she walks through the night, and the dapple lighting just falls there. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something to be said about having a 2D painting beforehand, before going into Quill. This is what I did in the Remedy 2. I had a painting for the main sets and the main moments, and I feel like it really helps you focus and really go straight into what you want. And there's something to be said about it. There's a quality to it, and you can really feel it in this piece.
Yeah, sometimes it helps to remove cognitive load, so you don't get distracted. You can just straight
it's
up
like
execute.
half of the work is already been done, so you just have to figure out how to do it in Quill and in VR, right? So it's really a great job.
When you first posted it, Edward, I was like, is this Blender? And I think you did a Blender version too, but man, this looks really, really beautiful. And
it just doesn't need it. It doesn't need it. I love the way it is.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you.
Yeah, amazing work.
We appreciate it.
Next up, Mike Corey. We have your Labor Day recycler.
The great Mike is amazing.
Mike is
amazing painting skills. Yeah, unbelievable.
The traditional painting skills come always through in your pieces, Mike. This is like really, really cool. Same thing, when you posted the thumbnail, I'm like, what? This looks like a Photoshop painting. Really, really cool. I like the little cubist pigeons.
Yep. It's a lot of work in Quill. Cannot get enough.
Yeah, I think you also have done some cool sound design in here. So it's just like very atmospheric. You can like feel. I can actually hear the car. Is that you?
Yeah, you feel like you are in that. Yeah. Is that yourself?
Yeah.
Almost.
Loading the truck?
We're getting one soon.
Nice. All right. Next up, so awesome work, Mike, always. Next up, we're going to the longer format pieces. So one piece that was recently shared is Illustration VR, and I think Zoe Rowland was the main artist on this. I love Zoe's work, and man, is this impressive. Daniel, I think this is like crazy amount of dialogue, right?
Yeah, this one took me by surprise when I saw the two characters talking to each other. I was like, wow, this is like a full-on.
Yeah, let me turn on the volume.
Yeah, let's hear the dialogue here.
I feel sorry for her. Why?
Sorry.
To live eternity walking around homeless. That's not for me. It shouldn't be for anybody.
Let's look at her. She looks happy.
And they use positional audio, so if I go here,
yeah,
you can still kind of hear them.
Yeah, this is like
I'll give us more.
Day in, day
I
out.
really love how they came up with this illustrated style, like a 50s and 60s comic book style, and they translated that perfectly into Quill. And again, like this really long dialogue scenes, like, oh wow, that must be a lot of work to animate all this lip sync and everything.
And look at the beautiful character design.
Character design is amazing, yeah. And I love the way the lines work. All the stroke, the black line of stroke, it works really well in Quill. It doesn't, when the character turns around, you don't see those floating lines or anything like that.
Yeah, it's like a true human toon shader.
Mm-hmm.
So
and you
this
stay in
is
the
really
for
cool.
a while because you're going through all the dialogue.
Yeah, and like every time you watch it, it has rewatch value because you can listen to different conversations and stuff like that, and you can just sit here and drink your cup of coffee as well. And,
yeah, it's really immersive in that sense. You can hear the conversations of the two guys, or you can hear the other conversation, and it feels like you're really free to pick up any part that you want of the storytelling. And then, you make the story in your head by picking all these little pieces. It's really awesome idea. I hope they develop this further and we see like a longer, like a storyline.
Yeah, this is super
Yeah.
cool and came really unexpected. Like amazing work to the team, and Zoe, like your artistry is totally visible. Your language it's amazing. It's been amazing to see. Congrats to the team.
Yeah, pretty cool, this one.
Next up, our one and
Next
only
one, Nick
Ladd.
Oh my goodness.
Nick the
I
Lad.
love Horror Stories.
Yeah.
Actually, I saw a peek of it when we did the trailer for the Remedy. I remember that was the first time I saw something of 4 Stories before it was released, and I was really impressed with the animation and the quality in general. Like I love the color palette too. Like choosing 4 main colors for each building, each apartment is such a clever idea.
Like look at
And
the
it's
spawn
really-
areas. Look at the spawn areas. They're so my favorite.
Yeah.
So you can go to yellow, you can go to
Yeah,
red,
yeah,
green,
yeah.
and blue.
Everything is color coded, and when you get inside of the apartment, every color is kind of from that family of the palette, of the blues or the greens, and it just works really well. I love how Nick designs his colors in general, but in this one you can really see how he controls that aspect, and the modeling and the animation is just wonderful. I really like how he pushes things into cartoony levels that are really fun to watch, and in VR it's just so much fun to kind of kneel and peek around the building and get inside of the apartment, and I want to see all the details of this animation. It's just so much fun.
So meanwhile, when blue is dealing with this, we have yellow, we have a little thief coming in.
Yeah.
And there's like 4 storylines, happening at the same time. You can change the perspective at any time. You can see upstairs stuff is going on, downstairs stuff is going on, and then let's stick with this because this is one of my favorite moments, my favorite animations of the hardcore grandma.
The grandma is amazing.
Let me
It's my
turn on
favorite
the
character.
sound a little bit.
I love this grandma.
It's so good.
This is the best now. Ooh. Oh, where is she? Oh, yeah. Now we have the green room. Unbelievable. Really, really cool. And sound design was done by Paul Gorman and team. It's like amazing because this is like a very complex piece to design sound. I think you guys saw how Nico explains in the trailer that like when you listen to one side of the story, you don't want to listen to the other side. So it's like a very tricky project.
Yeah,
for
when you
sound
pick
design
your
as
head,
well.
yeah, it's pretty cool. When you pick your head in the apartment, you only hear the sound from that apartment. It's really a technical achievement as well. I mean, it's just. I noticed also the smoke is probably using that technique that we talked about.
Yeah, I mean, I had used different smoke technique in the past, and then I recently had to get it working on the quest. I'm like, I could make the smoke look better using the new Quill techniques like yours. So it
looks really good.
Yeah, that smoke looks just really fantastic. It's
Well,
awesome.
Congrats, Nick, on this fantastic masterpiece of
Thank you.
VR
Yeah.
experience. It's really
It's one of
really
those
awesome.
things that allows you to rewatch and rewatch. You can just it has multiple,
It's
points of view and everything. It's really
rewatch
awesome.
value. Yeah, so much rewatch value. I watched it many times.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Rewatch value.
And also, when you have a good sized space, you can actually go into the establishing view and then walk around the building, which is like really really fun. The next piece is Parade Animations Lifetime Achievement, which is really really cool.
It's a very clever title because you can always say, "Yeah, this short is my lifetime achievement."
Totally. Yeah. So this is obviously also one of our favorites in terms of like just storytelling and the fidelity of animation. And you will see some familiar faces in the credits. Alyssa worked on this, Tyler worked on this, and I don't know who else worked on this from the community besides Jonathan, the director. But
I think Jonathan's here right now because he messaged me asking how to get into the stream.
nice, Jonathan. Hey, how's it going?
Jonathan, that I realized he's a former Disney animator, from what I read in.
It's true. I mean, more accurately, I worked at Disney TV and I did development there. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Not actually an animator, but yeah.
But the animation quality.
You are an animator, Jonathan. You are.
An animator. Yeah, an animator, but that wasn't my position at Disney.
Yeah.
David is here also, who worked on the animation for Lifetime Achievement. So.
Hi, David.
David Hernandez?
Yes.
Oh,
yes, awesome.
I'm here too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Congrats to everybody who worked on this piece. It's just wonderful to see like a different style, like more UPA inspired designs, working VR. You've never seen that before. It took me really by surprise when I saw this. And the crazy designs of some of these characters are really, and they're working really well in 3D. That's really impressive what you guys did, and the story is really fun. It's like, and it gets really emotional. At the end.
I think that's
really awesome.
what I love so much about this is it feels a bit like light-hearted comedy and stuff, but then you find a way to make it really emotional and deep, and it really touched me, the story, and it's really, 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 really cool. And the use of VR, how you use it for the elevator and stuff like that, is just so awesome. You feel like you're being transported throughout space and into the journey of Albert. It's just like really, really cool.
It's a clever way to transition to different sets.
Yeah.
Because this is what you want in VR. You don't want the audience to be stuck in one set or one environment. You want to transport the audience to different places, and you did a very clever way to keep everything engaged and the audience really always entertained. It's always something fun to watch. And you never miss the story. You always follow exactly what you're supposed to follow in the story, which is really, really clever.
Yeah, I think you did a really great job in like guiding the eye of the user, of the viewer. It's like really, really easy to digest, easy to follow, and it's really fulfilling to watch this experience. And I'm gonna move forward a little bit towards. I think this is actually Alyssar's animation here, right?
Is this one of the longest Quill Theater pieces?
It is
Goro?
the longest.
Was it like 15 minutes?
Yeah. Look at that.
Yeah, some people were asking me if this was done with something else, because it can be done with a really long piece in Quill. Is not possible? And I told them no, it's all done in one software. Believe it or not, it's all done in the timeline. You can stretch the timeline to as long as you want, and this is the example of it. You got a 15-minute story, short film, and create it in this one software. It's just impressive. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, if you haven't watched this is definitely a must-see. I do have to highlight his mom and his friend. Look at that. My favorite. Oh my God. Her friend, really. Yeah. Somebody in the community said her friend needs a spin-off. Was it Kurt? I forget, but definitely.
I think it was
if it wasn't Kurt, it should have been Kurt.
It's the voice. The voice sells it.
I especially like this apartment design. The set here is really beautiful. Yeah. It reminds me of the old time One Dalmatians sets background design.
Somebody wanted to say something?
The friend is actually the same voice actor as Albert.
Oh, really?
He just did a squeaky voice. And...
Oh, that's funny.
That's awesome.
Oh, man, the shape is so cool. Yeah. So, yeah, if you haven't seen it, watch this. This is amazing. I'm not going to spoil the ending here, but it's really, really amazing and definitely a must-see in Quill Theater.
Thank you, guys.
Next up, Blue Zeus, the Beast.
What a beast.
Yeah. So this is Blue Zeus Animation Studios in the UK, The Beast. Wonderful piece.
Do we know people who worked on this?
I think his name is MLL something. He has like a weird Discord name. I don't know, but I don't know if you're here, Mike. Mike, are you here? Maybe not. But this is really, really cool. Maybe I will turn up the sound a little bit on this one. This is really nice.
He was doing stuff at Nexus too.
I love the establishing shot here. You see the biker down there. It's like, what is this red thing? This is really cool.
There was only the road.
I think one of the things that I really liked about this short is that it's really economical, if you think about it. But it managed to sell you a huge story with relative economy of means. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Here is one of my favorite shots. The biker falls back in speed and guides your eye. This is so cool. Wait for it.
You may want to turn on the volume because I can't hear you.
And my will was tested.
This is so cool.
We couldn't hear you before, Goro.
Yeah, yeah. This is so cool though. Like where I was saying, like how they guide the eye with the animation, you know, like where he falls back. It's really clever, and it's just like really, really cool. Let's go forward a little bit, you know. just such epic shots. It's beautiful inside and out. Really, really cool project. So congrats to the entire team. It's definitely one of our favorites.
Very intense, very
super intense. Next up.
We're about 50 minutes in. So
I was about to say that.
That's perfect. We're good in time, Danielle. We're doing a good job.
Yeah.
All right. So this is from this was a thesis project from Bob Young from USC, which was really, really cool too. And it's about his personal life story, and it's very touching as well. And I really like this because it's such a personal story where you can relate to what he went through, moving from I think he's from Malaysia, to are you here, Bob? Maybe not, but yeah, he moved to the States and basically tells his life story about his experiences and how he was missing out on family time and stuff like that. And really, really cool short story about his life. And this was his USC thesis.
Yeah, very good use of VR to tell a personal story, and I really like the framings at the beginning, and you get the little framing with a little bit of 3D, and then suddenly boom, you're in his memory, right? And the transitions are very good too.
Yeah, I like that too. That you're actually diving into his memory, literally, right? Like into the
whole
photos.
set transforms into a different set, but your character is still the same, and that's a really good way to move from one set to another set.
Super cool project, and it makes it relatable. You can feel like how his room feels and stuff like that. And he actually did the voiceover by himself. And really, really cool personal piece. So congrats, Bob, on amazing VR experience. It's really cool so check it out. Next up, goodbye, Mr. Octopus. Do we have Amory here?
Are you here, Amory?
I guess not.
Well, this is a really amazing short. Studio Gepetto is the one studio. I don't know how many artists were working on this. I was really impressed when I saw, especially the quality of the lighting and the model design. I'd never seen that before in Quill. When I first started this short, I was like, "Wow! Like, how good is this? The modeling and the character design and everything." And then when they started animating and talking, I was like, "Wow! Am I looking at the future of feature animation films?" It's really, really good. And the story got me right in, really hooked. And I love the fact that you're like free to look around anywhere in this environment. But obviously you follow what the characters are saying and you want to really get invested in the story. Super appealing character design.
Yeah,
super cool technique.
The level of detail and the lighting here is so beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and I really enjoy the live stream when he explains how he did everything here, using a combination of texture, JPEG texture, and Quill lighting.
That's actually a good call out, Daniel. Amory did a full stream for a Discord class, so if you want to know more about this project, definitely check out his stream on our virtual animation YouTube channel. It's really, really inspiring. My favorite scene here. Right here.
Yeah, the forest is really detailed, really beautiful. It looks like a moving painting again, like we were saying before. And the animation of the mom walking is just really polished and really professional. I really like how using the 2D technique of keeping every drawing 2 frames or 3 frames. It works really well in VR, and it gives you that kind of feel, like this staggered feel of a traditional animation.
And there's some really cool transitions in here too.
I love that the point of view goes lower when you're reliving the memories of a child.
Yeah.
And your actual point of view is closer to the ground. So you really feel like you're a child in that moment, reliving that memory. And then here the viewpoint goes a little higher because you're going back to a teenager, right?
Yeah. And this is really nice. Boom, the jungle.
Yeah, that's awesome transition there.
It's really, really cool. This
super high quality stuff.
Yeah, this is a really, really cool scene here in the void where the mom is lost.
Oh, I love that part. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's a moment where she comes really, really close to camera, and I love this moment. So powerful.
Yeah, that moment is just really, really cool. And the way he modeled and animated the characters, I thought it was really impressive. He did like a super high poly version of the characters, and he animated everything with transform keys. Which kind of saves you poly count. So the polygons the polygons don't need to be repeated in every frame. So that's a very clever system to make high quality models for the characters and animate it like a puppet. Like we explained in the live stream.
Yeah, I think important to call out is that he did this before the puppeteering function.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, exactly.
Like he went through some major workarounds in Paint, but very, very impressive work. Like unbelievable. I was selected for the Venice International Film Festival, so yeah, well deserved. Congrats on an amazing piece. Go check it out if you haven't seen it. It's definitely worth a watch. So now I will try not to fall. Because I'm standing here, but we cannot go without mentioning the Quantum Race by Studio Syro.
Soul Island,
the latest
Soul Island, amazing stuff.
Basically, the season 1 closing experience. This was like literally a crazy ride. So I'm gonna hold myself.
Right.
I'm gonna anchor myself on the table so I don't fall.
Don't get dizzy, Goro.
I can close my eyes. Nobody knows.
Goro, be honest. How many times have you seen it?
I have seen it 3 times.
Ah, okay.
Why?
I thought you were going to say something crazy like 30 or 40 times.
Well, I mean, the thing is, 10. Like, I do get a little bit motion sick after I watch it, so I can't watch it like back to back. Like, but I have to also say I'm like super sensitive to motion. But
is this the first Quill experience that has a warning at the beginning?
I think so, right? Yeah, I think this is the most ambitious one in terms of like user locomotion as well, but I have to say you guys in Studio Syro, you guys did a tremendous job in keeping the motion sickness like as low as you can, because honestly I don't feel it while I watch it, but I feel it afterwards usually. So it's funny. But this
bedroom, this scene is so good,
so beautiful.
I was marveled at the lighting and how
I want to actually turn up the volume for this one, so I'm not going to talk for...
Oh yeah, let's do it. Let's listen to the music.
Yeah. Jump forward a little bit.
The pod racer. Here we go.
Music's so good for this.
out to Green Pirate, who made the music.
Okay, I'm gonna turn down the music a little bit, but this is like a crazy, crazy ride. Like, I'm holding my left hand is on the table just to anchor myself, because otherwise I'm gonna lose some balance here. But
you gotta play some more games, Goro.
Yeah.
Get your VR legs.
It's funny though, because I use so much Quill, but in Quill I'm fine. But then when I get moved through space,
when somebody moves your. This is so good in VR. You can really feel the speed and the movement.
And the scale is insane, how big all those things feel. But let me jump to like a really cool sequence.
It's just hard to believe that it's so many polygons, and I don't know how they do it, how they optimize this. Is insane. All the crowds in the audience, it's just unbelievable. It's a little like overwhelming, the amount of crazy ideas that happens right one after the other. Blah, blah, blah. You're like, your brain is trying to process one idea that you saw before, and then you see another crazy idea that comes in, and you're like, it's just really.
Yeah, somebody in the community said, I think he wants the same drugs they use.
yeah, something like that.
But this is like one of my favorite scenes. This came so unexpected, and then like all those audio waveforms, and then it gets really abstract. Cool. It gets really crazy.
Yeah, you go into upset mode.
Yeah.
Like
now, wait for it.
And there's the Quill stuff.
It took me way too long to realize they were going through Quill when it happened.
Really?
That's
like we were just about to leave, and I was like, "Oh wait!"
Look at that. This is so meta. We're like inside Quill.
I know.
Look at the keyframes up there.
Dream normally.
Timeline.
This is what I dream, guys.
That's so cool.
Oh my god. I can see the timeline.
Yeah, it was like right here. I went, "Oh wait, those buttons look familiar."
I saw
everything here.
The racetrack as the timeline.
Oh yeah, this was trippy.
This is inside of a VR animator. This mind. This is what happens.
Oh my god.
So cool.
Super cool. So yeah, if you haven't seen it, watch all 3 episodes from Soda Island, Neon, Multiverse Bakery, Neon Jungle, and The Quantum Race. Watch them back to back if you can. It's really, really fun. Congrats on an amazing piece. Lastly, we're gonna show Garrett Thomas's Lungs and Limbs music video, which was also really innovative and really cool. Okay, so this is really cool. It's like a music video from Garrett Thomas, and he really, it's like a minimalist approach in terms of character design, but it really works well in space, and super fun. I'm gonna turn on the music a little bit so you can hear.
I just realized what to say.
So this is like really cool, and like in VR you have to imagine like the heads go like big and small and stuff like that. It's a really good use of space. So definitely check this one out too.
How are the planets done?
The planets are Garrett, are you here?
The image.
I don't know if Garrett is here, but he made it with PNGs. PNGs.
Oh, right.
Yeah. I think it's actually either PNGs, straight up flat PNGs with alpha, or 360 spheres. I believe it's just PNGs.
Probably 360 spheres. The cool thing about this piece is taking the puppeteer system in Quill to the next level, where everything is puppeteer, even the mouth moving up and down, and the drum guy, everything. It's using your puppeteer skills, and it's really cool achievement in that way. And that's the reason the characters are so simplified, because everything is being driven by by your puppeteer, right?
Yeah, and like it's really cool because actually everything is synchronized, right? Like how she sings, but also the drummer and stuff like that. It's really well done. Yeah,
it works really well.
Yeah.
The characters, they really feel alive, even though they're so simple.
Yeah. So definitely
because of those movements, you know.
Yeah, definitely check this one out. This is really cool. Yeah, and I think that's all we have, and we can open it up for discussion. So let me hop out of VR here.
Let's see your face again.
Yeah, let's see my face again. Alrighty.
Yay!
I think we're so good in time, Daniel. We're like at 11. Oh, I'm tangled up here. Hold on. Like at 11:07. It's unbelievable. We made it.
Really good time. I thought we were gonna go past 1 hour and a half.
So yeah, we wanted to chat with you guys. What was your favorite pieces? What was your memorable moment of creation in VR? Anybody wants to go like tell about their personal story? No.
I want to say something about this year. It's the last thing of the year, guys.
Right now. So I worked with David and LSR and Jonathan on Lifetime, and that was super fun. Because it was a huge file. Because I did both some animation work and optimization work on that thing, and I learned so much from that project, just about how Quill works in general, and a lot of the optimization bits, and so many tricks to get file sizes down and whatnot. And it was just this crazy experience where every time it would be like, hey, can we maybe do this thing to this scene? Can we implement this extra detail, this effect? My answer was always, I don't know, because I genuinely didn't know because the file was getting so massive, and we still made it work every time. We got, every request pretty much made it in, and it was just this wonderful thing to finally see come to light and come to fruition, and having it finally come out was like a total fever dream. It was so cool.
That's awesome. Which scenes did you animate on Lifetime?
I worked on the scene with the robots in the oven. I did the elevator phone call scene, and I did the scene in space.
Oh, that's cool.
Awesome.
But I got my grubby paws on a little bit of every scene in that short film. Like the day-night cycle in the lab was something I worked on. All the gears turning was something I did.
That was one of my favorites. Seeing the gears turn.
Oh, that made the draw calls skyrocket when we first had that done.
I can imagine.
That's awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, I can totally tell that you did the elevator scene just because of with the King Boo Quill that you did, and how you made us fall through the floor. It was kind of like a similar sensation, except it was the elevator. So I thought that was super cool.
Yeah, I love that. It really immerses you, right? Like the moment you are in the elevator, you just forget you're in an enclosed, office space. You just feel like you're really transported through space in VR. And I love elevators. I have a few in my daily illustrations as well, because it just makes you it's like, it's tolerable. It doesn't make you that nauseous because it's up and down, and but the impact it has on you is really, really cool. Yeah, I love that stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I like the elevator too, because it was one of the few I want to say mechanical transitions, but he does a lot of teleporting in the short film. But that was one of the few that you went from this oven scene straight into the lab through the elevator, which was pretty fun.
That's cool. Yeah,
that's pretty awesome.
Hey, Nick, I know that you are muted, but do you have anything to share about Quantum Rays? I think you did the Quill scene, right? Nick Diaz.
Oh, which scene? Hey guys.
Didn't you do the Quill timeline sequence?
So okay, yeah. So I painted that. Oh man, I should have sent you guys the first painting of it.
Tell the story. Tell the story behind it.
Yeah. Okay. So I made the Quill menu. I painted it, and I didn't write any text into it. So I hit up the team with that Quill menu, and I reported it to them as if it was a bug. I was like, guys, what's wrong with my menu? I don't see any text, no keys. I think the file's gone. So I started to mess around with it, and then they quickly figured it out that I painted it. And that's when I had that moment. Yeah, it was a fun one. That one and the pie scene was stuff that I painted, but then Funi and everybody, once I finished my half, they came in and just started to add their love to it. Yeah.
That's awesome. What is your favorite scene, your personal favorite in Quantum Race?
There's so many good ones. Like seeing lads touch on the Escher Temple was also one of my favorites. That one was a really big one.
Yeah.
Actually, okay, I got the one that I keep telling the team is my favorite. When we hit the gum, when in the Neon Jungle, we hit the gum swamp. And you get that vibe with the music and everything.
Yeah.
I felt the exact same thing when we hit the Silicon City with the origamis, changing form and doing that whole thing. That, it hit the exact same note. And loved it.
Awesome, man. Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing. It's so funny with the Quill menu and stuff. Jonathan.
Thank you guys.
Jonathan, I would be interested in your experience with lifetime achievement, and I know it's also you're pulling from personal experiences and stuff like that. But what is your favorite story or favorite scene or favorite memory of creating lifetime achievement?
Yeah. First, I want to say that the whole thing wouldn't have been possible to be made without Tyler's technical genius figuring out how to put 15 minutes of frame by frame animation, uncompromising frame animation, into 1.5 gigs. It's pretty crazy. As he said, there were a few points throughout the process that I just came to him and I was like, Tyler, I'm not sure if that's possible, but give it a shot. We'll see if it happens. We really don't want to split it up to parts. We want the experience to be streamlined, and we just want the audience to be connected the whole time. So let's make it happen. So I'm grateful for having him in our team.
The optimizer.
Times
that's it. That's perfect.
The precision genius, right?
There were just so many times, where I would sit down with Act 1 and 2, and they would both combined already be about the limit, and I would just have to do the Zach Galifianakis math meme and just start optimizing stuff.
Yeah, no. At some point, I didn't even get into it. I was like, Tyler, just do magic. You don't have to explain. You just, do your thing.
That's amazing.
But other than the technical stuff, it was, a year before releasing the film, I was already so much in the dark, and I felt like I've had my own, gigantic year journey with the experience. So releasing it at the end of the year was very climatic. Especially in a year such as this one.
It's very appropriate for this year, especially the theme itself too, right? So.
Yeah, and it, obviously it wasn't expected because we pitched the project before 2020 started. But I think my favorite, to be cliche and gross, my favorite part of it was the people I found, working on the film, because it was my first time, being in a position where I had to pick my, the people I wanted to put on this specific project. And I didn't know, it was kind of like a shot in the dark. And we ended up being such a, we haven't seen each other ever.
That's crazy.
And every week, we came together, and the atmosphere was just so nice. And we hung out, we did happy hours, and we chatted, and it at some point really felt like it was much more than just a few people working on this little project.
That's awesome.
And yeah, especially our rap party was actually like it got like emotional. It was just very.
That's great.
It was just very ecstatic in a sense that I didn't think it would be possible in doing everything remotely.
Yeah. Was that a Zoom rap party, or how did you do this?
It was a Zoom rap party because
great party.
Yeah,
I'm curious about that too.
That's cool.
Yeah, but it's funny because you're right. The theme of the experience is presence, so it's kind of funny, being far from each other, working on this. But other than that, yeah, I'm happy with how it turned out. I'm surprised by how streamlined it ended up being, working with Quill.
It's beautiful, beautiful work, man. Like seriously, like,
thank you so much.
Yeah, love it. Yeah, thanks for sharing the story. This is awesome. I would like to hear from Stefano Vagnoli, because I think, Stefano, you always push yourself to the limits. You always, put story into your pieces, and like I was like, holy crap, I hope like Stefano doesn't catch up to the daily Quill illustrations that I'm doing, right? So by the way, for the record, Stefano, I'm at 863 now. I don't know how many you have, but just kidding.
Throw down the gauntlet.
But yeah, no,
competition, Goro.
It's not. I know. I'm just kidding. No, Stefano, really impressive stuff. Do you have any stories to share? What is your favorite piece that you've done, and what is your favorite Quill experience that you had this year?
Wow, I have to say, all of them has one great thing that push me further each time. So I think, the laundry scene you share, that one was the first one that once I've done it, it became the update for Quill. So we had the key transforms.
That's right.
The properties, and I was like, now we can do lots of more things. And every week, every lesson, I learn new things. And every artwork is something that I want to try new things. I started using Quill from watching your tutorials like a couple of years ago. And I was like, the first time I tried the VR, I really went like crazy, because for me, having the possibility to be inside a painting, inside a scene from other artists, that's the main thing.
Pretty mind-blowing. So,
yeah, because you can see all the brush strokes from the artist. So it's like when you are in the museum and you watch a paint from like 1 centimeter. I mean, from really close. And and then I want to improve my painting techniques, because my background is motion graphics, photography. I work in the VFX industry, but I've always wanted to learn more about drawings and shading, coloring. So the things that Quill doesn't have a render engine, but you have to paint your own light. I started with this challenge, and then I started to build something else. Artwork by artwork.
I mean, you're doing great on that. I mean, like the lighting is good, beautiful, and the color choices. But what sticks out to me is like how much effort you always put into telling like a little story, and I feel like that's always very present in your pieces. So I really respect that. It's really cool.
Thanks. Because when I have an idea when I start, but while I'm in there, maybe you got another idea and you want always to add something to make more unique your things. Because I start with a reference and stuff, and then I say, oh, I should add this one, and what about that one? And I don't know when I'll end the things, because I always want to.
I know exactly what you mean. That's why I'm always late with a Quill challenge.
Yeah. And doing the Inktober for me was my first one ever. I just decided that I want to do that, but I didn't know how it will end. But forcing me to do one thing each day, I took that as an exercise to make more practice, to make a bit faster, and I learned lots of things. And obviously, the amazing things is now watching all the artists collaborating each other's and creating those masterpieces, because there are, I mean, in this 2020, I think Quill and all your amazing works from all the community has really a nice things that I don't know next year what we can achieve. I mean, I think
this is just the beginning, Stefano.
Yeah.
Virtual Animation Season 2.
I got some ideas, but we'll see.
Talking about Inktober, so congrats on all your work. It's like super inspiring. Talking about Inktober, I think we have Peter here, Peter Marks, who was also like super prolific and every day doing stuff. Peter, do you have anything to share about your experience of like, I think it's not Peter Marks, I think that's Peter Ariet, so I might have read it wrong. So Peter, that's Peter Ariet, right? It's not Peter Marks.
I think Marks.
Yeah, it's me, Goro.
Sorry
about that. Sorry to disappoint.
No, that's okay. That's okay. But Peter, now we're talking about Peter. Do you have any special memories of 2020 in VR?
Any special memories of 2020?
For everyone, he also works at Studio Syra. So
VR one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, just overall the opportunity to work with such talented Quill artists, but not only that, seeing the work that came out of everyone, and then the continuous new pieces that come out through the year was very exciting. But when you get to work with someone that is as talented as the team, and I'm pretty sure everyone is familiar with my team, we have Nick Ladd, we have Dan Frank, we have Funi Labs, we have Nick Diaz, we have Felix Steiff, and seeing them already be so proficient with how Quill functions, and then being able to, work that into the story that we're already working on Soda Island, and anything else that we're trying to throw at each other. It's incredible seeing already and talented individuals get more talented, and then, what we can actually do in such a collaborative sense.
Amen to that. Yeah, I mean,
it's an unreal experience, and
it's unreal to observe. Like you guys are always like pushing the limits with every experience, and none of like Multiverse Bakery, Neon Jungle, and Quantum Race, they're very different from one another, and that's what I love about you guys' approach. That you stay hungry, you try something new, and I wish Dan was here. But Dan's innovative directing and like his like camera work and stuff, it's just like incredible. But props to the whole team, Studio Syra. You guys are super inspiring and truly leading the way here, and it's really, really cool to observe.
Well, it's something for us to work with one another and know what's possible based on what the community is producing or what one of us has produced. But then someone like me who isn't quite the Quill user, I work with something simpler with just audio and transforming audio to make spatial audio.
Yeah.
But expanding what's possible in 3D, or taking reference or understanding how VFX work in the traditional industry, or just how animation is being done, just theorizing and, trying to vision what something can be in the end based off of, the ideas that we come up with the team. No one says no right off the bat. Like, we really do try to make something happen, and then which comebacks to bite us, because it's really hard to try to make something work in Quill when it's never been done. Like, there's quite some feats that if you have to pause and think about, okay, how was that actually performed? How did we, truly do that VFX, or how was that animation truly done? And then you'll start to ask all of the various questions of how, these films came to light. And I think that's what's important, because there's just so much there to really dig into.
Totally. Awesome, man. Thanks for sharing.
Incredible work.
Yeah.
Of course.
I would like to hear from David Hernandez. ¿Cómo estás? David. So what I love about your stuff is, you're always you're more like VR to 2D guy for now. You have a few VR pieces, I think, shared, but what I find mind blowing is, the innovative part of you, how you bring Quill to Blender and stuff, and how you process it without like losing the hand-drawn quality, and maybe add like, even more like pencil strokes or something or grain towards it and stuff like that. And recently you connected it with an iPad to do like syncing and stuff like that. And just wanted to hear from you like what 2020 has been for you and in terms of VR and how how you come up with those techniques and ideas. And also thanks for running the class, of course.
Oh yeah, no worries. Like I don't know. For me, it's just I've always like, even if I'm an animator, I've never thought about myself as an artist or like I really can't paint or I really can't like seeing all of what we've seen today is just like I have no idea how everybody does this, right? Like I have no idea how color or
I wouldn't say no idea, but I mean you're good at that. Naturally good.
For me, it just like takes a long time to do any of this stuff, right? So for me, I just see it more through the perspective of like, all of these tools, like we have Blender, we have now that I was trying to work with the Stream Deck on the iPad, like you have all of this new technology that you have at your disposal, right? So how can you use that to either like for example me that I am more like a 3D animator, like how all of those tools help me on my process of just trying stuff out and like creating whatever I'm because for me all of this trying out is just more of a hobby, right? Like I just don't know once I see because I think I saw someone on Twitter, I don't remember who was it, who was trying to do this iPad thing.
I've never heard of it. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and then I was just like, I'll just try to figure it out.
Oh, so like driving a character rig with an iPad? I think I know the person.
Yeah.
I think I know the guy.
So I was just like, I have no idea how to do it. And like, for me, it's always, it's easy to just like reach to people and see like, how you're doing it. But for me, I find more joy of just like finding out myself. Just like, I'm just going to go and I'm just going to download whatever package I'm trying to learn and then just do it.
Yeah, it's hard to keep up. It's always this is so awesome, this is so awesome, and then I try to learn Blender and then I give up again, and then I get like discouraged by the interface, and then a few months later you post something again and I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna learn Blender, and then I'm like, I give up again. But
no, I totally get it. And then, for example, like now when hearing like Tyler and Jonathan working on, because me working with these guys, right? Like for me it was just like one of those moments where it's just like now I don't have to think about painting or like now it's just animating, right? So Jonathan and all the team just provide me with the scenes and the character and everything was just developed. So it was just like for me to just go jump in and just like start animating. So I really enjoy that experience, which is just like I don't have to think about anything else but animating, right?
Which shots did you animate on Lifetime?
So it was just the wine tasting, the gold tasting.
The gold tasting, yeah, nice.
Yeah. And then what was it? The clock one, where with all the when he's like running.
The clockwork, the gears and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, the running animation, like the hamster wheel.
Yeah, and also the the friend, the weird friend.
Oh yeah, nice.
That first part was me, and then after that.
Yeah, I love that hamster wheel where he like quickly says like, "Oh, I'm getting too old for this." It's so funny. Yeah, this is really cool.
Yeah. But for me it's just about all tools, right? Like and then as you said, like sometimes it's really difficult to keep up, right? Like now I was thinking like, maybe a 3D printer would be cool, and but then I lose focus really easily and really fast too. Yeah. So for me it's just like I'll just try another thing and then just like try to do.
Super inspiring though. Like keep doing your thing. I love seeing your stuff and always super impressive. It's just like it doesn't look like a test. You always take it to the finish line. Where I'm like, I could actually see this as a production and stuff like that, So yeah, I love seeing your stuff. So yeah, congrats on all your work this year. It was very inspiring.
Very cool.
Thank you.
Very cool.
Yeah. Roxandra, so you've been like pretty busy. You're like known as the clean, beautiful, scenario person in the community, I think, like I love your Christmas holiday piece that you did. Yeah, Roxandra is here. So
something.
What is your favorite moment, or what's your favorite piece that you created this year?
My favorite piece that I created, let me think for a second. I probably have to say it's actually the last one because I had so much fun putting it together. the Christmas ride?
I watched it yesterday.
Oh yeah,
it's
yeah.
really cool.
That was really cool.
I hope I didn't make anyone sick.
No, for me it was short enough. I feel like it was cool because when the sled comes and then your little critter pushes the sled, that was like super adorable, and then she drops you, and then you're like, oh! But then, but it's really cool. Like I really liked it, and I liked the storytelling and the transitions in it. So, I realized that you always try to see and test the possibilities of VR, and this was another example of it. I really enjoyed it. It's really cool.
I really like having fun with these experiences. I mean, it's like everyone else has experienced. It's been a hard year, and I think we don't need to bring that into VR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And, initially, I was planning to make the little critter laugh at you whenever they're pushing you off the sled.
Nice.
But I was running out of time because it had to be a little bit rushed.
Yeah, how long did it take? Because there's so much detail in there.
Let me think. I've been working on it in my spare time, so in the evening after work. So it's a little bit hard to kind of put it together, but I suppose it would have been a week.
Okay.
A week of late night work.
It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot of work. I can tell. So, but it's turned out lovely. So, yeah, awesome stuff. Yeah.
I always enjoy your stuff. This is really, really awesome. Really clean.
I love seeing everyone's stuff. Is just always. I feel like you've said this before. Everyone's work sort of feeds into everyone else's as well, and I love that.
Yeah.
This is it's a really cool community for sure. We have to, of course, ask the lad, Nick Ladd. Nick, it's been like a crazy busy year for you. I mean, you were working on Studio Cyro stuff, and then on 4 Stories, and the recently announced Namu. How do you sleep at night?
A lot of work.
Or do you sleep at night?
I mean, it got kind of crazy at the end of the year with all these different things going on. But I mean, Quill makes things like this pretty manageable, surprisingly. Just you can get so much done so fast. And when you're doing this many projects, you have to get some of these things done pretty quick. But all these projects are really team efforts. So,
yeah.
I mean, 4 Stories, I did a lot of work on it this year to get it ready for release. But, I mean, the bulk of that work was done in the past. And then working on Namu, John and Dan Frank worked on that one with me. They did a lot of great work, and all the stuff we do at Studio Cyro is such a huge team effort from everybody. So if I hadn't had such good teams to help balance these projects, I wouldn't have had any sleep.
Yeah, no, I believe that in a heartbeat. But do you get a little bit of rest now, or are you jumping into other projects right away?
Oh, I'm taking a short break. I'm really enjoying the holidays. Been drawing. I'm gonna hopefully do some personal Quill pieces.
Oh yes, yeah, I've been missing those. Like I was like, oh, I wish I see some of those short things, like the fish gym from Nick. But I knew that you're like tangled up in all those projects, and like it's.
Yeah, I have time now. So after I finish taking a bit of a break, I'm gonna try to do something.
This is cool. I think you have a lot of stuff, old stuff that's really cool too that you haven't even made VR ready, right?
Yeah, most of it would be easy to make VR ready, but it's just most of it's not animated. So
okay.
I would want to probably go back and animate it before I upload it, because I feel like the static Quill pieces they're nice, but I feel like you like that, you want to have the life and the animation
totally
in it
and sound.
So, I mean, I've been thinking about in the past we did some fun collaborative pieces with the community.
Yes, we should start that again.
Forever. So you had the wrestling ring was great, and then
the Christmas holiday one, and Quillville died. I think some luck that you add like 50 million polygons or something.
I think Sam Luck killed Quillville with the thorn bushes that were like 5 million.
I think that was like one of my first I've ever done, and I didn't know how much it was, but I just kept going nuts with it.
I love that stuff.
It was funny just because I got it back and I'm like, why is it so laggy now? What happened? And I look at the numbers and it's like, oh, that's too much.
I mean, if I look at my old Quill pieces, like I think Sam, you asked me like, hey, can you release like a moment in time? And I'm like, let me check. Oh, 14 million polygons? No. And it's not worth optimizing that. I would rather do a new one. But Peter, you wanted to say something? I think Peter.
Yeah, I did want to say something. I wanted to say that that Quill is one hell of a program, but I want to I'm getting mixed up my words. I just want to acknowledge Nick Ladd as an individual, because whether or not Quill is as incredible and flexible as it is, Nick Ladd has taken it to the height that it needs to be in terms of being able to work on all of the various projects and then balance his time. Because from me being able to observe everyone working on their various things and working with Nick, specifically balancing whether it be a Quill project or another project, is absolutely incredible. And everyone here knows with Nick's involvement with the community. And so I just want to give a personal shout out to Nick for everything that he's accomplished this year.
Definitely. Bravo, Nick. Yeah.
Nick.
Badass. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, it'd be great if we could do another collaborative piece next year.
We definitely should. And I have ideas. And I mentioned before in a stream that, like a parkour race would be cool, like where you create like a little city and then everybody animates their piece and then we merge them all together. And then they're going to run, like a crowd of people will run towards one goal. I have to figure out how to make that happen. So, it can be dangerous in terms of poly count and memory. So,
poly count.
Maybe,
I have an idea as well.
Okay, cool. We should chat, Nick. We should chat.
Yeah, brainstorming.
But we're at like an hour and a half. I think this is a good length. This has been a really, really fun stream. Thank you, everyone, for contributing to the community. It's really dear to me. It's like, the best, if not the best community that I've been part of. And it's just so inspiring to always see new stuff, happening and, seeing experiments from David Hernandez, seeing like, Daniel's crazy animations and stuff like that. And, like all of the content that was shared, it was just mind blowing to me. And it's hard to fathom that it was really just 1 year of content, so I would say, let's make 2021 even bigger, brighter, better. And
this whole thing started as a way to cope with the problems that happen outside, right? And I think for me personally, it's been an awesome way to get into the community and talk to you guys and kind of really. I get excited every Saturday because I wanted to either participate or listen to what the streams of somebody and get in VR every day and watch whatever new thing somebody has posted. It's such a relief. It's such a awesome getaway from the realities of this year that has been really bad in so many ways.
Yeah,
but,
totally.
I'm so glad we did this. I'm really proud that we created this community and we, like Goro said, every Saturday we didn't miss 1 week.
Unbelievable.
We had some content and some way to get together and talk about what we're passionate about.
Shall we try to?
It's also really exciting seeing everybody's work. Like, it actually just inspires everybody to just be like, now I want to try this. Now I want to try the other thing. So, congratulations, everybody. Just like doing some awesome work. Yeah.
Totally. A lot of times I also catch myself, like Rosandra posted a new thing and it's a VR post and I'm let me just jump into VR, check it out quickly, and it's been so streamlined now, it's so much easier and everything now. And it's been a really, really good year, a hard year, but it's also a good year for content creation. Danielle, shall we try to do a high five here?
Oh, you want to try that?
Here we go.
If it works.
Boom, and boom. So,
guys, I gotta say, I'm very thankful for all that you've done and that everyone was willing to jump on the community when I suggested us to start coming together. I'm very glad that you were able to just contribute your time to it, no matter how busy. I really appreciate it. And it makes me want to keep pushing myself to be able to create the content that I want to do for VR and animation. So
Yeah, looking
Thank you so
forward.
much.
Thank you, Faith,
Thank you,
and
Faith.
looking forward to what you come up with in 2021.
Yeah.
Well, there's still a few days in this year, if you have
No, you still
headset
have
and
time.
VR, so you still have time to bust out some pieces.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I still have some unreleased pieces that I haven't put out, so
secret.
Yeah, it'd be good to post it in the Quill Theater.
Yeah. Also, so this stream obviously will be on our virtual animation YouTube channel, and I will also post our first virtual animation sizzle reel. Super stoked about that. So, with that, we would say, Danielle, happy holidays, and see you on the other side.
Holidays, everybody. Thank you for coming to the live stream. Participating, and
Happy New Year, and see you
Happy
in
New Year
2021.
Happy New Year.
Bye, guys.
Yeah.
Woo. Bye, guys.
The virtual animation movie.
Bye.
Take care, everybody.
We survived 2020.